Long ago, there was a young turtle named Luma who lived in a quiet forest surrounded by rolling hills, flowing rivers, and golden fields. She was small and slow, the slowest of all her friends. While the rabbits darted through the meadows in games of tag and the deer leapt effortlessly across streams, Luma could only watch from the sidelines. Though she wished to join them, she knew her small steps couldn't keep up. Each day, as she trudged home, she would lower her head and try to brush away the sting of feeling left behind. One evening, Luma found herself staring at a glowing sunset. The sky was alive with colors, deep reds, soft oranges, and shimmering golds that spilled across the horizon. The sun sat there, grand and untouchable, before slowly sinking beneath the hills. Its light seemed both inviting and unreachable. Luma took a deep breath, then whispered to herself, "Maybe I can't outrun my friends, but maybe I can catch the sun!" The next morning, before the other animals were awake and the mist still hung in the forest, Luma set off. Her goal was simple: walk fast enough to meet the sun as it rose. She didn't race or sprint. She simply walked steadily, determined but calm. Step by step, she crossed the shadowy trees and headed toward the horizon, where the sun was climbing higher into the sky. Still, Luma kept her pace, never stopping, never doubting her journey. Days turned into nights, and Luma faced challenges she had never imagined. When mighty mountains loomed before her, sharp and steep, she climbed them. When fierce winds howled against her, she tucked her head inside her shell and carried on. There were moments when other animals chuckled at her efforts, shaking their heads. "Why bother chasing something that doesn't need to be caught?" they asked. But Luma simply smiled. She wasn't chasing anymore. She realized she was moving toward something worth reaching. On the 7th morning, with her legs aching and her shell dusted with dirt from the journey, Luma found herself on a large hill, the tallest one yet. The world around her was still dark, filled with the deep blues and shimmering stars of night, but as she reached the hilltop, the horizon began to glow. First, it was a faint orange line. Then, soft gold spilled into the sky, lighting up the earth below. Finally, the sun broke through, its first golden rays stretching across the world. Luma stood still as the light reached her shell. She had done it. She hadn't caught the sun, but she had met it, face to face, right where it rose. She stayed on the hill as the sun climbed higher, feeling its warmth on her skin, basking in its gentle glow. It seemed to pause for her, like it had been waiting all along. From that day forward, Luma became a figure of admiration in the forest. When the animals woke each morning, they would see her on the hill, sitting proudly in the first light. She was still the slowest in the forest, but no one saw her that way anymore. Instead, they called her brave, steady, and strong, the turtle who dared to race the sun. And whenever they asked her how she had accomplished it, Luma would smile and say, "You don't have to be fast to achieve something great. You just have to keep going." As the days rolled on, even the rabbits and deer began to look up to her. They learned new lessons from her determination and began to celebrate the slower, steadier pace around them. In the end, Luma hadn't just reached the sun. She had changed how others saw the world and their own journeys. The forest grew a little closer and a little kinder after Luma's adventure, its creatures inspired by the young turtle who taught them the value of patience, courage, and perseverance. Moral: you don't have to be the fastest to achieve greatness. Sometimes it's the steady steps that lead you to your dreams.